Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this glorious day. We thank you for new beginnings that we're in this January for a new year. We thank you for our presenter today of coming to present to us and give us some awareness of other values that we may have around the house and interesting things on housewares that we have. Ask that you be with each of us as we go through this week, and especially be with those who have family members in California that are in the throes of the fire or dealing with effects of the fire in one way or the other. Just be with all the first responders, all the firemen, all the people that are working to control and try to put the fires out, but especially be with those families that are struggling with total losses, and just comfort them, be with them. Also be with all those in our world that are in trouble spots around, and be with our government, our legislators, as we enter into a new realm of new administration that will take next week. Just be with our country, guide us in your way. Ask that you bless this congregation in your name. Amen. And Steffi, your time for the introduction. You get the microphone today.
Here you go.
Yep, you're good.
I'm Steffi Swope, and I'm a member of this group. And it's really a great pleasure that I'm going to be introducing my dear friend, Albert Rasch. I want to give you a little bit of background, Albert, but I could do some retail therapy up here. I've known Albert and Cindy for many years. And Albert started out, he started Dysfunctional 25 years ago. And let me give you a little background before. He originally is from Catskill, New York. He's from Monticello, not Monticello, down in Virginia, Monticello. And he lovingly refers to the area as the Borscht Belt. And he said Monticello is the Jewish Alps. So he moved here in 1983 and originally had a horsing around, and my sister and myself would go in there and get equestrian things. He had horsing around in Westchester for about 20 years, and he's originally graduate of Temple. Then he did a Bachelor of Fine Arts at the Tyler School of Art, and he is a print and design maker. So he would do the print and design work for the silk screens for horsing around. So that's what he started to do in Westchester. And then he started Dysfunctional 25 years ago. He had a warehouse. Some of you, besides myself, may have gone to. My sister and myself were frequent. Is it fair to say we were frequent visitors?
Card-carrying members.
Card-carrying members of your warehouse down in Franklin Street. And then I had a warehouse right around the corner, so I could just walk over to your warehouse. So Alfred, his business, Dysfunctional, now is moved to Fraser, over in the Fraser outlet by the Giant, and it's really a wonderful store. He does a third retail and a third online with eBay, and a lot of things that you see on eBay, Montana and different, the antiques that are out of his store in Fraser. And then he does a third wholesale because he supplies all the White Dog restaurants with their beautiful china. And because they love to mix and match is what I also love to do. And you supply bed and breakfast, you supply white dog
And also replacements.
replacements. So, did I miss anything, Alfred?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's give him a warm round of applause, my dear friend.
Yeah, you've got one right there. You've got one.
Okay.
What can I take?
Well, yeah, you help yourself.
You can walk around or stand here.
I'm gonna walk around.
So. There you go.
We're clear?
You're clear.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm drinking some delicious coffee that's in a Falstaff Heritage white mug. It's amazing. I've been doing this for 25 years and I can't delete the patterns that I know from my brain. There are so many out there. I had no idea what I was doing when I was starting this because at the time I had sold my silk screening business and I had got a divorce and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I contacted my friend Alan, who was an antique dealer, and he said, well, you could take your china and sell it to replacements. I said, what's that? Some of you know about replacements, others of you never heard of it, like me. And I contacted them and they said, please send us, well, we will send you a fax of the inventory that we're looking for. That tells you when it was. I filled it out, sent it back, packed it up for UPS, shipped down something. 2 weeks later, they told me what they were paying and they sent me a check. Sounded pretty good. I've been doing that for 25 years and I'm one of their top 10 suppliers. They have about 500 suppliers around the country. So my first question to all of you, has anybody here downsized? And did any of your kids or family members want anything that you had? A couple, but not many.
Not a lot.
I have this conversation 30 times a week. People call me, they send emails. It's really scary, but Pottery Barn, Pier 1, and IKEA seem to be really popular, and Anthropology. But you're stuck with beautiful things from family members, your aunt, your uncle, your parents, your siblings who passed. What do you do with it? And I was listening to a Jerry Seinfeld monologue the other day. He says, what do we do with this stuff? You have a house, and then you buy things and you put it in the house. And then you put it in the closet because you're not using it. And then you put it in the attic. Then you put it in the garage. And then you put it on the curb. What's the point of it all? And my wife always says, when you're getting older and it's time to leave this earth plane, it's a coffin. It's not a condo. You don't take it with you. Everybody has so much stuff. You don't need to go out and buy anything new. At least that's my feeling. You need some Fiesta? We got some old Fiesta. Heisey was once a very popular American brand. Unfortunately, this has very little value. We have it in our store for $18. It probably was new at $50, $60, $80, who knows. So the bottom line is, what do you do with your stuff? Dave brought some beautiful pieces here. This is gorgeous. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being brand new and 5 being really old. This is a 5. And I looked it up beforehand.
That's actually Ann Zimmerman.
Oh, Ann, sorry.
That's okay.
I only.
From my mother-in-law.
All right. Well, unfortunately, nobody's looking for it.
I know.
It's beautiful, but replacements isn't buying it. If I'm buying it, I can't pay much for it. These are absolutely stunning, but nobody is looking for them. You brought the butter dish. Let's talk about cholesterol. That's a lot of butter.
That's a lot of-
But back then, you know, if you had family members who made the butter, you'd have plenty. So everybody has beautiful things and the kids don't want it. So what do you do? Any answers? No, okay. Was that me? Oh, okay. Just checking. So I started Dysfunctional and we started out just selling to replacements, but they weren't buying everything. So then I would put things online. And at the time of my divorce, I moved in with my sister. Thank goodness for family. I said to my brother-in-law, "Oh, I sold a cup and saucer today. It was $9.99." He looked at my sister and he says, "This is going to be a long haul." But I learned as I did things, and the next thing I knew, I was going out to Goodwills and consignment shops, constantly looking for things. I had a database in a big book this thick from replacements that would tell me what they would pay. So I would be able to buy things if there was a margin. In the beginning, I would ship it down, but then I started to drive my van every 2 months down to North Carolina. As things progressed, now we send down, you know what a banana box is?
Yeah.
See them in the grocery store. We fill up 30 to 50 banana boxes every 3 weeks. And I have a trucker who will transport it down so I don't have to use bubble wrap and tape and all, just a little newsprint. And it gets down to replacements. And they go through it all and they tell me what they can pay, what they can't buy because of condition. And they send me money right into my account and we keep things rolling. But they don't buy everything. Nobody can buy everything. And that's why I have a retail store. Dysfunctional. And here you see some depression glass, Fiesta, some beautiful old Wedgwood. There's so many things in our store, it's impossible to just show you unless you went to our website, dishfund.com. You should come in and you'll walk down memory lane there because you'll see things that, oh, that was my aunt's, that was my grandma's. I kiddingly tell people, oh yeah, I was at their house and that's where I got it from. But we buy sterling, silver plate, stainless. We're doing a lot with costume jewelry. And I tell people, if you have costume jewelry, box it up, put your name and your cell phone number in the box, on the box. You could drop it off without an appointment, and we will get back to you in about a week after my gal goes through it and tells me what I can pay. And your options are yes or no. And I have some people who bring me garbage, and I can't even make them an offer. And other people, it turns into some huge money. So for them, for me, everybody wins. On this table here, I have a vinyl tablecloth. If it wasn't stained, it would be worth a lot. It's Port Marion Botanic Garden. Some of you know that pattern. It's beautiful. And this is also a Port Marion. Everyday China, Mikasa, has no value anymore unless you wanted to use a soup bowl. So everybody thinks what they have has value, and it does to you. It may not have value to your family, your kids, your neighbors, but I always recommend contact them first to put dibs on it, because you can't take it with you, especially if you're going from 4,000 square feet to 1,000 square feet. I don't know what else to say other than it's all just stuff. And it means something to you, hold on to it. But you can't take it all with you. I remember growing up, my mom would say, oh, we're having a Thanksgiving dinner, polish the good silver. And we would do that, and it looked great. I had no idea it was silver plate. I always thought it was sterling because she said it was the good silver. So everybody doesn't know what they have. I've been learning constantly over these last 25 years. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Yes, ma'am.
What does replacement not?
It used to be they would buy a lot of things. And when I was first starting out, they would be paying maybe $2 for a particular cup and saucer, and then it went to $1, and then it went to a quarter, and then they just stopped buying it. Recently, in the last 6 months, they changed their buying strategy, which was very shocking because I was sending down 50, 60 banana boxes. It's cut almost in half because they have, let's say, 400 suppliers. Every supplier could send down 12 place settings of a particular pattern. Now, if they have 3 dinner plates in stock, they don't want any more until they run out. But unfortunately, they also have 24, 36 of something. It's never gonna run out, so they're not buying it. Yes?
So who is buying their stuff? If your family doesn't want it and you, a reseller, may not want it, who is buying it from replacement?
Well,
Repeat the question for us.
oh, okay. Who is buying it if replacements isn't buying it? And also, if you sell to replacements, you have to ship it down there at your expense, and it has to arrive without being broken.
Question is, who is buying from replacements?
They do over 80 million a year internet all throughout the world. They've been doing it for 40 years.
Is there anybody that like replacements that is filling the gap that they have abandoned?
I haven't found it. In this area, I'm one of the largest buyers of stuff, and I've had to cut back. I have people now sending me photos on our website, and I have to turn down so many people. And I hate to do it, but I can't take it in. Yes, sir.
Or is it safe to say that replacement might buy a unique piece of, like a gravy boat or something very unusual in a pattern that they have because they don't have that?
If they don't have it, they will buy it. And now they're paying more for it if they don't have it. But that's far and few between.
Because they dominate the market.
They're number one worldwide replacements. Yes, sir.
How much does the movie industry buy? You see this scenes where there's a fist fight and
All right.
somebody gets knocked into all the china.
He asked about the movie industry and film. Did anybody here see the mayor of Easttown? So the headboard in her bedroom, the peacock bamboo thing, that was from us. They came in for 10 weeks, twice a week, and just kept on. And this is when I was behind Rubenstein's in 18,000 square feet. And they would just walk through and say, oh yeah, I want that, I want that, I want that. It died and went to heaven. It was great. They bought a whole set of Franciscan apple. They bought a lot. All I could say is it doesn't happen often enough. But I don't know where they're getting it. There are places called prop houses. There was one in New York that I went to an auction because she was retiring. And it was, I was bidding against Martha Stewart's people on some things. But I ended up loading up a van several times from that. So there are prop houses that supply it. They rent it. I'd never want anything back. If I sell you something, please don't bring it back. Steffi, you hear me? We have something here. Someone brought this. The Main Street of America, Highway 66. I have no idea anything about this, but that's why we have Google Lens.
Yeah, we've never been able to find much. It was my dad's. It's old. I just decided to bring it because it's interesting.
It is interesting.
It's not your typical Route 66 sign.
No, but then again, I don't have any Route 66 signs, so I don't know who's collecting it, but I'm sure there's a Route 66 organization.
Probably, yeah.
Once again, Google Lens. I don't know anything about this. Collectible plates were a big thing. Someone called me up and said, hey, I have some Norman Rockwell plates. I said, yes, you do. Yeah, there's Knowles made so many different artist collector plates. Even Hibble's plates don't even have the value that they used to.
Another question for me.
Of course.
I happen to have a lot of flow balloons,
Yeah.
and their prices for dinner plates might be $90.
Mhm.
But what is their markup? When you send them something, what can you expect?
You don't send it to them until you get approval and you know the price in advance.
Oh, they tell you.
They tell you.
Okay. And is your check based on what their sale price is?
No, it's what they're paying. It's all about supply and demand.
Okay.
If they need it, they'll pay up to 50%. If they don't need it, they might be paying 5 or 10%. It's all about moving the inventory. So if you, during COVID, you needed toilet paper and paper towels. I'm sure there was a lot of price gouging going on for that. Yes, sir.
Are there things that you're specifically looking for that we should be aware of? Might be hidden somewhere in the shelving of our various and sundry things.
He's asking, is there anything at home that I'm looking for? We moved from 18,000 square feet to 8,000 square feet. We have two 40-foot containers and a 52-foot tractor trailer out back. I'm not looking for anything. But it's hard for me to turn people down. And I offer what I can. And you're more than welcome to say no, thank you. And I tell people, make sure the kids don't want it. How many times have people brought me stuff and I've written a check and then they call me up 3 days later and say, oh, you know that large blue platter? Can I get that back? If I haven't sold it yet, yeah. But check with the kids first, even if it feels like it's an exercise in futility. Any more questions? What's your name?
Trouble.
Trouble. Okay, Trouble. What's up?
Now, suppose you have something and nobody wants it. For example, I have a demi-tasse set. Nobody wants it.
I like demi-tasse sets, so I might be paying $1 a piece, maybe 50 cents.
Okay, let me
But-
just say this. Nobody wants it. Should we just throw it out?
No, donate it to a nonprofit. There you are. Yeah.
But you can't even sell it. I mean, I've donated things to the thrift shop
Yeah.
and they can't sell it.
How do you know we didn't sell it?
Because it was the demi-crust.
It just depends what you
It depends on what you have, who comes in.
comes in, exactly.
That's the problem with retail, is that you have no idea who's gonna walk in the door. Yes, Tuesdays through Saturdays, we get a lot of people from the DMV. Moms who drop off their kids to get their permit or what have you, and they come in and kill some time and walk out with a bag of stuff. But you never know who's gonna come in. But speaking of not knowing who's coming in, anybody here see Wicked? Phenomenal Broadway show. The movie is terrific. So we're doing a wickedly wonderful Wednesday between now and spring. On Wednesdays, we're offering 20% off the entire store as a way to promote it via Wicked, because we just want to bring people in. We still get people who have never been in our store before every day. We get repeat customers. Yes,
Where are you located exactly? Are you located at that shopping center where the DMV is?
between the DMV and the Giant.
Okay.
And there's plenty of free parking there.
Yeah.
And we have heat, we have air conditioning, we have no flooding. Behind Rubenstein's, we flooded so many times. It was the best thing ever to move from there. But the rent was, we got what we paid for. Yes, sir.
What do you specifically collect? I mean, beyond dishes, but what are your vices beyond
My wife is a retired nurse. She's neat and tidy. If I see it,
Mike, what about you?
do I have a choice? If I see something at the shop, I'll send her a picture. She'll say no. Or if I bring something home, she'll say, nah. She wanted a lamp the other day. And I said, maybe I have something that you'll like. I doubt it. And I sent her some pictures. And she sent me a picture that she saw online for $98 for a lamp. What am I supposed to do? I can't make them. So I have 4 pieces of old Royal Doulton pottery. I've got a couple of pieces of artwork, some Harry Dunn's, some Dennis Haggerty, but that's really about it. Because it's a coffin, not a condo. I mean, we haven't moved. I asked Cindy just the other day, are we gonna move from here? As long as, we can make the steps, we're okay. Yes, sir.
I see some people with pieces.
Oh, let's take a look.
Let's start going through and we'll start here in front with Jack and Sue Masters.
A little salt glaze.
Well, this has a good provenance. It's from the DR Congo. And it is from the former Belgian Congo. So this is very old.
Yes, and so am I.
It hasn't been, but it hasn't been the Belgian Congo in many years.
Right.
So does it have any value to anybody?
It's pretty.
It's not pretty.
Oh, it is. It's handmade. It's a beautiful salt glaze. It's utilitarian, though I wouldn't necessarily put something I was going to drink in it. So I'm not an appraiser. And that's something that if it came when we did a house clean out, we'd put it in the store for $20 or $25, even with that provenance.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then my husband brought that Nippon piece.
Okay. Very pretty decorative bowl by Nippon, Japanese. Do you know anybody who's looking for it?
No.
Neither do I. I'm sorry, but it's just too easy.
Who else has pieces? Okay.
This was my grandmother's grease jar. She kept her bacon grease in there.
Yeah, it's the same time.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nobody wants.
If someone collects this type of stuff, it has value.
I just want to, do you know where it was made?
There's no marking, there's no marking on it. I have no idea. The handle's been glued, chips here and there. I tend to not buy anything with chips.
I just want to know if
No.
you knew where it was.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But Google Lens on your phone
Google Lens. All right.
is your best bet.
Here we go, Dan. I have a couple of morningware dishes.
Yeah. Do you have the lid?
The lid is here.
And is the lid chipped?
It's, if you could walk it up to him.
Wait. Velcro. If you have a 4 or 5 quart, it's better. Oh, there we go.
What's your plate?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we all have these.
Yeah. This one is very common. So 1 quart and the lid is not chipped. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This, however, is really nice. Oh, I gotta get back here. So this is a 2-quart saucepan with numbered lid. There we go. That might be a $20 or $25 wholesale item. It's probably a $50 or $60 piece.
Okay. What about this one?
So that's very average.
Okay.
It's in good condition. In my store, it might be $18.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else?
Okay. What do you got there?
Got a plate from a set of Limoges. Is this porcelain or china?
T&V is a good maker. Let me take a quick picture and see what we got. So on your phone, you go to replacements.com. Anybody could do this. I shouldn't tell you that. And then you take a picture of it. And then I'll put it into their database. Now they're using AI. So everything they have online and in their inventory has been photographed, barcoded, and now I can see that this is Longchamp by Tresemme and Voigt. The dinner plate is not in stock. The only thing they have is a lid for an oval vegetable. But I'm going to look it up on the proprietary database because I pay in theory, I pay every year to be a star supplier. But if you do $50,000 a year or more with them, they don't charge you. And I do that. Let's see. So it's this one here. So they don't have very many customers. The average price is $1 and $2 a piece in that set. Cups and saucers is $2. They've only had a photograph of a dinner plate. So that tells you that there aren't many customers and it's just not worth a lot.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You should use it.
I used to use it, yeah.
Yeah.
You may not be able to replace it, but use the stuff you have. Use your sterling. Meals taste so much better when you're eating with sterling. Think of that. With plastic, it's no fun. Nancy, what do you got? This is Lifetime China? Homer Laughlin, Century Service, Regal Red, Royal Red. Yep, Regal Red.
I have dinner plates, bowls.
Well, you're getting ahead of me.
Oh, okay,
I can't remember that.
all right. I'll send you an email.
Well, I'm gonna do it right now. Regal Red. So this is what I have to do every time someone sends me a picture. Now I have somebody working with me who's really good. And it's got the flowers in the center, right?
Yep.
So I am paying 50 cents on a soup bowl, 50 cents for a cup and saucer, 50 cents for a dinner plate, etc. But that's not from your house, that's from the store. Oh, well, use it or sell it.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We have a box about like this full of long playing vinyl records.
These are 78s.
No, they're
33s probably.
not 78.
Yeah.
No, I've already had a conversation with your wife this morning.
Oh.
They're good for skeet.
I love.
Yeah. Bull, yes, sir.
We have some dear friends in Indiana, and the mother, who's now just passed away, was a very avid collector of jelly jars. And she was, and really went around the country to conventions and was well on all this kind of stuff. And they found an auction house in Indiana that auctioned these items off. And some of the jars were $6,000 or $8,000 for one jar of the lid.
Yeah.
So I guess the point of this question is you should really heavily researched. The point I think that's really the message today, is work the internet, work around, find like if you have butter churns, see if there's a butter churn society in the United States. Or pick your poison.
A good point. However, if you only have one jelly jar, chances are it's not a $6,000 jelly jar. If you have a collection, that's a totally different Oprah show.
Yeah, she had
So-
hundreds.
Yeah.
And so that was my point though, is if you think you have something very unique, we all have time now. Take the time to research.
Definitely.
That's really what you're saying to us is, if you can't find something online eventually, it's probably not worth it.
That's a good point. If you can't find it online, maybe it's not worth anything. But it means more to you because it was yours or your family's. Hi,
Are souvenir spoons worth anything?
is what?
Souvenir spoon,
If they're sterling, they're worth about $8 to $12 in today's market for scrap.
Nobody wants it.
Here's a candlestick that's sterling, but it's weighted. So this is not 2 pounds of sterling. This is about 3 ounces. And 3 ounces is, nowadays, it's about $75. This handle is at least an ounce, or you could use it as a nice pie server. So, you're looking at $20, $25. This is a nice tanker. This came from a woman who had an antique business who has since passed, and I was contacted to deal with her costume jewelry and some of her smalls. This is something of hers that hadn't sold. Handsome, silver and copper stein, early form, $145. You can see the copper coming through it. That's why it's silver over copper. It's cute, but she didn't know anybody who would pay $145. Neither do I. It's silver plate hollowware. I'm paying 75 cents to $1 a pound, not for the silver, but for the copper.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody has Lennox Holiday, a little salt shaker. Unfortunately, condition is also everything in the aftermarket. So this is all in poor condition, so this has no value. You had a question over here? No.
Steffi has something.
Oh, Steffi, what's up?
Well, you know what, I'll bring, and I'm just gonna show them, I grabbed, my, I've got a lot of stuff in.
You don't have too much stuff.
If you need any filler, I just thought I would,
I got 5 minutes of time for filler.
okay. You wanna, I just brought a few things in from my,
Sorry.
I'm just, as a retired history teacher.
Need help carrying it?
I have no idea. I live in a very, very old home in the north end of Westchester, and I just grabbed some stuff out of my kitchen on the way out because I thought, gee, maybe.
And is this stuff that you use?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. What do you got?
Well, I'm gonna just a second. But basically, what I do, I'm headed to I'm what's called a picker, and I have 12 clients, and I am headed somewhere in Chester County after this, because basically I get people collections, and they're foreigners. Most of my clients are Japanese. I've got some, and they have condos here, and they want collections, and I never meet these people. I just basically buy for them and get them collections. Okay, let me see what I've got.
The dish towels.
I know, I've got dish. Okay, well, this is one of the things. This is sterling. What is this?
That goes on the end of a piece of meat,
What?
chicken or something,
Chicken.
to hold it
What kind?
when you're gonna carve it.
It is. I got this and I just brought in some kind of crazy stuff because, people, you're probably looking at me and go, this white-haired lady, she's really got a lot of crazy stuff in her house. But this is at the end, I got this in New Zealand, and this goes at the end of a leg of lamb. And then you tie it.
And then you could carve it.
Tie it down, and then you can carve it.
Yeah.
Okay? So.
Is that sterling?
It is. I got a couple.
Is that a bed warmer?
No,
Oh.
that's not a bed warmer.
Popcorn popper?
Okay, let me see if I've got a couple of these, and I just, oh, I know it. Okay, I've got another one of this. Does anyone know, one side is larger, this is sterling,
Yeah.
and it's also got,
Let me see that. Can see this?
It's got, no, this doesn't have the cherubs on it because, okay.
But this was a multi-motif pattern, so it was
Exactly.
done in different designs.
No, well, before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've got another one. There, I brought two. There's another fork that I have, and one fork, this is in the late 1800s. One fork has a larger side on it than the other one. Does anyone know why? Okay. Before refrigeration, when the servants were serving, they wanted to make sure that they would keep the bacteria separate. And so the one fork that has the larger side on it is for cold. This is for cold meats or cold vegetables, something like that. And then you're going to have,
I never did that.
that's why you hang out with me, Alfred.
You bet.
Let me see if I can find, I threw a whole bunch of, I was leaving the house, I just threw a whole bunch of stuff in the basket.
Nice tea towel, Sue.
Okay.
So all the tines are the same on the other one.
So this would be for cold platters or cold food, and this would be for hot food to keep the bacteria separate. I don't know if that's sterling.
No, it's not. You can look at this. You see this?
Yeah.
So when you put your fork down, eventually it's going to wear the silver plate off the bottom.
But
That doesn't happen with the sterling.
well, but basically I just wanted to show them
Yeah.
the difference.
I was just accentuating what you were saying.
Okay, what are these? What are these?
Sugar tongue?
These are right out of my kitchen. These are very, very early from the late 1600s. And
There's no spring. I have no idea.
okay. And as you know, I taught high school, and some of you are any teacher, and you know the high school boys can sometimes they said, Mrs. Swope, did people use this to like pick at their body or pick their nose or something like that? I said, no. These are, I mean, high school boys can get a little raunchy. These are cinder tongs, and you would use these to pick a cinder out of the fireplace for your pipe, and then you would put a cinder. These are Chester County, and you would pick a cinder out of the fireplace, put it in your pipe, and these are called cinder tongs. Okay. What is this? You know what that is?
Yeah, asparagus over.
Yeah, well, I was gonna add, this
Oh,
is,
you asked me.
okay. An asparagus.
And that's a stainless top and a sterling
and
handle.
a sterling handle. Does anybody, this is for asparagus.
I want to know about the bed warmer. What is it?
Oh, just a sec, okay. These are,
We could take this. We could take this on the road.
I know. I'm like, you're Johnny Carson and I'm Ed McMahon. I'm here.
I love them.
Okay, aren't these, okay, early?
Yeah.
Not too early. What are these?
They're drinking cups.
For what? What are they?
I don't know, mead, hunt, after the hunt.
These are hunt cups. They're called hunt cups. And what you would do is you would put these on the front of your saddle. You put these on.
No, really?
Yeah, because see,
Wow.
they sit.
Oh,
They
okay.
sit and you put them right on the front of your saddle.
Nice. Brass? No. This one?
Pewter,
Pewter.
brass, this a hound and a
Yeah.
fox.
Ah,
Nice.
I like it. My bag's over there.
What is this?
It's not a bed warmer.
It's if Cindy gets enough of you, she just.
Yeah.
Popcorn, popcorn.
No, this is a very early, it's British. And it's a very early chestnut roaster on the street, a chestnut roaster.
I love it.
So it's very early. And the one thing I wanted, remember when I brought in the tavern bells, how many, like for the wenches, for the
Wenches?
the wenches, I have tavern bells, you know, I've got on my kitchen
Yeah,
table.
yeah. For wenches?
No, for the tavern, they came out of 926.
Oh, wow.
And then I also have, I know what else. I've also got a tankard out of there. This is
That's an old pewter one.
it's got the initials on it. It's for a right-handed drinker. And it's a Chester County piece. It's got the initials right here. And they would hang the tankards on the
beam.
beams.
So that was
And I
your
have the
tankard.
I have the toll box. I have the
Oh.
toll box for 926.
Oh, wow.
I have the tavern bells for 926, and I have the tankard. And I think first of all, this has really, really been used. And for the ale house down there. And then somebody really got annoyed and they whacked the I mean, this is from the late 1700s. And they really whacked the table. So this was a Chester County resident. This was, let you pass it around. It's a Chester County resident that
That's amazing.
obviously down the street got ticked off and whacked it on the table. Let me see what else. Oh, I know what this, okay. What is this? Don't say. I know you, what is this? What is it?
Ice cream scoop.
It's an ice cream.
Wow.
It's an ice cream, a real old ice cream scoop. But can't you imagine like one of the Brintons or one of the Darlingtons or one of the Good Ales just whacking that thing on the table because they were really,
And they weren't sober at the time either.
they were probably never sober. Okay. This is I grabbed this. This is off my little cookbook shelf. Now don't say you know what this is. Don't say, because what is this? You guys know, come on, you're from Pennsylvania. What is this? I'm from California.
It's a miner's lamp.
It is. This would go on the front of a miner's hat. This when they went down in the mines, but look how tiny, look how much oil they had. I mean, and this was the little thing that they would light and it would go on the front of the hat. And this is very, very old, but look how much fuel they had to go way down into the. Okay. Test is next week. That's it. I think, do I have anything else?
What's the mug? The mug.
Oh, that's for my tea.
Oh, okay. We perform nightly, 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Be sure to tip your server.
So, basically, you would buy the collections, but I would do the very, very early collections for people.
That's fascinating.
Early collections. I'm headed to Pook.
Of course.
I know.
Alfred, I have a question.
Yes.
Or maybe just a comment about replacements and advice maybe from you. So I haven't tried to know anything there in a long time, but I was went to college and so I actually took Waterford there for a neighbor and she got a very good price for it because we didn't have to ship it or anything and it was years ago. But my understanding, so now they will tell you, like you just tell them what it is. Previously, I think my understanding was you shipped it to them, then they came back to you with a price, and if they didn't want it, you had to pay to have it shipped back.
That's true.
So you're really like losing a lot of money.
The only way to get around that is to send them photos through replacements.com.
And can you still make appointments to go in person?
I,
It's on the
I don't
chart.
know, I'm a supplier, so I have my appointments set up every 3 weeks. They're not buying as much from the public.
Yeah, and I would think generally, I'm trying to sell your services, we'd almost be better off bringing it to you first.
Right, and they pay me 15% more than they pay you, and you don't have to ship it. Yes.
Can you tell us about the pitcher?
Whose is this? Is this?
It's really
Oh,
good.
okay.
It's empty,
Uh-huh.
it's not signed. It's in good condition, it's very old. This is out of my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about it, but Google Lens might tell me. I don't know anybody coming into my store looking for something like this. So if someone sent me a picture of this, I would be passing on it. However, a lot of times we're called into a house where the parents have died and the kids don't live in the area and they need to get the house empty because that's the majority of the value of the estate. So they call us. We tell them what we can do to help them. We try and give them the right direction to go. If they want to bring us stuff, we used to go and do clean outs of houses. We just don't have the space now. So, there's Pook and Pook, there's Briggs. They all charge to pick up your stuff. It's ever since COVID, it's been a totally different situation with auction houses. Yes, sir.
Are you interested in pewter?
Yes and no. Steffi likes really old pewter. I usually scrap pewter because I don't have a lot of people buying it. And I'm paying about $2.50 a pound.
Are Hummel figures of any value anymore? I heard them in town.
I'm not going to dignify that question with an answer. They really don't have any value.
Speaking of which, how about the Dalton dolls?
They're good. Royal Dalton figurines. And French Limoges boxes and unusual things, but collectible plates have no value. Hummels. We had someone bring in, and they're all in their box. They said, how much are you hoping for? They said, about $800. I said, well, I can't help you, but if I go through it, maybe I could pay you $200. And they said, well, that's okay. They just want to get rid of it. But everybody thinks what they have has value. It has value to you. It doesn't have value to other people. Sir.
You go through the Waterford factory in Ireland, you come out and there's a sales room. My opinion was you probably can get that glass cheaper on the used market than buying it from them.
Definitely.
Does it hold its value?
But it's the experience of going to the Waterford factory and buying something there that you remember. But no, I have Waterford in my store that Lismore, very popular pattern. I'm selling it from we had a big Waterford sale, I think. It was maybe half off. So a $45 water goblet was only $22.50. And retail is like $60, $70. So no, I would not buy things unless you wanted to get a memento from a trip.
How about Lennox? We get a lot of that at the thrift.
Yeah, a lot of Lennox. And what's interesting with Lennox, if you look at the back of a piece of Lennox, there's an etched L, or an L with a circle, or an L in gold with a circle. That all signifies that it's a manufacturer's second. So a lot of people buy it at the outlet stores. And there were several of them. That diminishes the value of it to me by at least 50%. Scratches make it practically worthless. So Lennox used to be a preeminent manufacturer, but not much anymore.
This is just a busy little group.
Yes.
And my husband's in the back.
But your chocolate chip muffins were a hit.
Your clientele, do you see very many young people, like, are 30-something-year-old kids coming in and buying anything? Records, right?
Yeah,
Things like
we have
that.
vinyl, we have costume jewelry. People are buying costume jewelry more than anything else these days. And our costume jewelry starts at $4 and $5. And people are so excited. My mom loves shiny stuff. And people come in and do it.
We highly recommend his store. If you haven't been in, you should go. They have lots of lots.
We're open 10 to 6,
I didn't realize.
Monday through Saturday, Sundays 11 to 3, and 20% off wonderfully wicked Wednesdays.
Like a business card.
Now, there's no email address on the business card, but there is a QR code that will take you right to our website. If you want to send us pictures, there's a link there to send us photos. Yes.
You mentioned bed warmer a couple of times when you were guessing
Yeah.
what she was bringing. It reminded me, there is a bed warmer in our living room. It's right next to the fireplace that went down through my husband's family. I haven't looked at it in years. We don't use it.
No,
But
we have those little bags with little seeds in it that we put in the microwave. That does the trick.
Yeah. The base of it is
Yeah.
like this big
So-
and it's got a long wood
Yeah.
handle. How would I even figure out what
Google Lens.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll be here another 10 minutes. Thank you.